A sports-crazed Seattle community of the early 20s and 30s was familiar with the family name of Hutchinson. Dr. J.L. Hutchinson was a respected physician, and his two sons, with their athletic talent, were equally as famous.
The Hutchinson brothers were as close as you could possibly be, peas in a pod. They had that athletic theme and gene running through their family, and they were just very, very close. A lot of people don't know that Bill Hutchinson was a very fine baseball player himself. Fred Hutchinson signed a contract with Amel 6, newly minted Seattle Rainiers Baseball Club, and proceeded to have an absolute storybook season in 1938. Won 25 games, lost only 7. There's a number of major league teams that were eager to sign him. That included the Pirates and the Cubs, the Yankees and the Detroit Tigers. And he was ultimately sold to the Detroit Tigers for $50,000 and 4 players.
Fred would spend 10 years with Detroit as a player. His baseball career was interrupted for 4 years while he served in the military, then returned to Detroit in 1946. He had double-digit wins every year he pitched. Then, mid-season of 1952, Fred was asked to become a manager.
He managed the Tigers from 52 to 54. He wasn't offered a 2-year contract, which he wanted after the 54 season, so he left, which is also unusual, and he came back to the minor leagues. He came back to Seattle specifically and managed the Seattle Rainiers to their last Pacific Coast League championship in 1955. And this earned him another shot at the major leagues. He was hired by the St. Louis Cardinals for the 1956 season. In 1957, he guided the Cardinals to a second-place finish, and he won his first National League Manager of the Year award that year. 59, it was back to Seattle, and in mid-season he was called up to manage the Cincinnati Reds, the parent club of the Seattle Rainiers, and this is where he had his greatest managerial success. He took the Reds to the World Series in 1961 against the vaunted New York Yankees team with Mantle and Maris.
After the '63 baseball season, Fred flew to Seattle to visit family and meet with doctors about a lump that had appeared on his neck. His brother, Dr. Bill Hutchinson, made the medical arrangements, but the findings were not good.
Well, you're feeling fine, and somebody says you have a malignancy and it's cancer, and you just don't know what to think.
Fred made a heroic effort to return and manage the Cincinnati Reds for another year, but by mid-season of '64, he was forced to retire. In November, the cancer would take his life at the age of 45.
The Hutch Award was created shortly after Fred Hutchinson passed away in November of 1964. The first 2 winners of the award are 2 of the greatest and most iconic baseball players of all time in any era, Mickey Mantle and Sandy Koufax, and they are amongst 12 Hall of Famers that have won the award.
With the death of his brother, Dr. Bill Hutchinson's focus on cancer only seemed to intensify. He raised private funds and government support to build Fred Hutchinson Cancer Research Center in honor of his brother. Since its founding in 1975, Fred Hutchinson Cancer Research Center has had its share of all-star moments and celebrated the achievements of its most valuable players, the researchers, scientists, technicians, and doctors who battle to find a cure for cancer. Many game-changing discoveries have come from the perseverance and tenacity of Hutch scientists. It all started with the pivotal work of Don and Dottie Thomas, the father and mother of bone marrow transplantation. Don and Dottie were at Fred Hutch from the beginning and led the team of pioneering scientists who developed bone marrow transplantation as a cure for patients with otherwise fatal blood-based cancers such as leukemia and lymphoma. The work that followed has led to breakthroughs in our understanding of stem cells and incredible innovations in immunotherapy. Don's legacy continues every day at Fred Hutch through the compassion and drive of our faculty, who've had an extraordinary presence nationwide and worldwide, through our precedent-setting advances in the treatment of cancer, and through key findings in our insights into the basic science of cancer. that fuel new approaches to prevention, detection, and cures. Fred Hutch researchers regularly hit home runs in a wide array of life-saving research. Hutch scientists led the nationwide Women's Health Initiative, a study that resulted in findings that have since helped to prevent up to 20,000 new cases of breast cancer in the U.S. each year, with an estimated savings of $37 billion for taxpayers. Fred Hutch scientists are developing scorpion venom-based tumor paint that illuminates cancer cells during surgery, uniting gene therapy and transplant science to create needed cures for HIV and challenging pediatric disorders, and pioneering strategies to cure pancreatic cancer by overcoming the disease's biological defenses. Hutch research helped pave the way for a vaccine against high-risk HPVs that has prevented cervical cancer in hundreds of thousands of women worldwide. And based on our pioneering work in stem cell transplantation, we can now manipulate a patient's individual immune system, creating curative therapies that isolate and eliminate the cancer without affecting any of the healthy cells. Through Fred Hutch's first 4 decades, we have made a tremendous impact. We're on the cusp of a new era in cancer care. We're curing more patients, and we're curing them more safely. The pace of this groundbreaking science is constrained only by resources. We have seen the catalytic effect that private contributions can have, and we know we cannot do our innovative work without support from the community. We have the science. We know what to do. We just need the resources to make it happen. The Hutch Award and Fred Hutchinson Cancer Research Center have had an enduring effect over the last 50 years. Baseball and cancer research, 2 unlikely partners that have created a path toward a cure for cancer.